All right. So a bunch of news came out over the last 24 hours of the Game Pass Core, a new subscription service. So we're going to get into this, but kind of Xbox is changing. It's going through a metamorphosis of sorts of turning from a very console oriented platform over to a very subscription driven platform. And actually, I should say, this is like the product of what they've already been going through of a change. And now we are kind of seeing the whole thing just kind of come to be. I've been saying this for a while now, since like last year before, of like, yeah, it seems like Xbox is literally rebranding and redoing its whole structure of how it actually runs and functions as a company. It's not about hardware, it's about software now. So Xbox Game Pass Core, what is it? What's the pricing? What does it entail in detail? We're going to get into it. So introducing Game Pass Core coming this September. So again, this came out just this morning as of recording of this. So today we're continuing our commitment to give players more choice and value by introducing Game Pass Core, launching, or Xbox Game Pass Core, launching on September 14th. Game Pass Core is the evolution of Xbox Live. So that means Xbox Live is going away. Interesting. Game Pass Core will give players access to our advanced multiplayer network, a select collection of over 25 games to play with friends around the world. So Game Pass Core is giving you multiplayer access. So that's just like Xbox Live. So nothing too big is being changed there. But a selection of or a select collection of over 25 games to play with friends around the world. So to me, that just screams the like PlayStation Plus collection that they've had since the PS5's been out, which is almost going on 3 years. They're about ready to do away with that collection because it was only supposed to be around for a few years, and they just kept it going anyways. Which is like, it's a collection of older PlayStation exclusives that you can now play on the PS5, and I think you can upgrade them pretty easily to the PS5 versions of some of the games. So it's like God of War and Days Gone, I do believe, is on there, and The Last Guardian. Like it's actually some pretty decent like AAA big budget titles on there. Anyways, so exclusive member deals, which again, the Games of Gold deals, all for $10 a month, $60 a year. That's, average regular pricing. For over 20 years, Xbox players have been connecting via Xbox Live to compete, cooperate, and experience the world's biggest online multiplayer games. In 2017, we introduced Xbox Game Pass, which provided a curated library of games. Game Pass Core brings online play together with Game Pass and a new offering for gamers around the world. With this evolution, we're saying farewell to Games of Gold. We wanted to use this opportunity to reignite or reimagine how to include content with the subscription. We found that the answer to the most compelling catalog was to leverage select titles from our Xbox Game Pass catalog. There we go. There's like Microsoft going all in with the Game Pass stuff, as I've been saying they're going to end up doing. Our launch collection of more than 25 titles from Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, and our content partners will offer something for everyone to play on their Series XS and Xbox One consoles. So this is all to do with the console. It's not much to do with PC. Like the PC side of things isn't changing really at all, because basically the PC side of things, you're already running Game Pass. So this is kind of just turning your Xbox more into what we've already had going with the PC. But it is one hell of a rebranding, though, because Xbox Live was like the pinnacle that started everybody kind of playing online back in the Xbox 360 days, when the PSN was still having its issues. So yeah, it's definitely, there's some nostalgia that gets hit with this. 25 games. Today we're confirming the following titles for launch, with more to be announced in advance of September 14th. New titles will be added 2 to 3 times a year. So instead of getting a couple of games a month, now you might possibly maybe get a couple of games a year. That's not the greatest thing to be seeing. I mean, most of these games on this list right here are actually titles that, they've bought the licenses rights for. So Among Us, Descenders, Dishonored 2. I'm surprised Among Us is on there, because that is still a third party. They're not owned by Microsoft as far as I know. Descenders, Dishonored 2, which Microsoft just bought. Doom Eternal, Microsoft bought it. Fable Anniversary, that's in-house. Microsoft made that one themselves. Fallout 4 and 76, Microsoft bought both of those two. Forza and Gears are Microsoft in-house. It's their Xbox teams making that. Grounded is a indie game. I do believe ID at Xbox, so that would be in-house also. Halo 5 and Halo Wars is also in-house. Hellblade they bought. Humans Fall Flat, they bought the license rights for. They don't own it. Inside, they bought the license rights for. They don't own it. Ori, they made that themselves. Psychonauts 2, they bought. State of Decay 2, I do believe they make that one in-house also. Like, what I mean by in-house is like Xbox Game Studios themselves that they started. The Elder Scrolls they bought, of course. So let's see here. So you have your core subscription, which is $10, $10 a month. Online console multiplayer catalog, console. So $11 a month. So this is just the console one. Then you have just a PC one, $10 a month. EA Play membership. Do you not get that on the console also? Oh, you have to go Ultimate. Really? Huh. On the PC, you just get EA Play. Interesting. It's probably because of the networking that goes into EA. So the EA membership comes with the Game Pass, but it's also there because of the launcher, the Origins launcher on PC. So then it talks back and forth to one another. Hundreds of high quality games for $17 a month is Ultimate, which is a price increase. The Verge actually had a pretty good lineup of everything that is like price increases and all that stuff. So on September 14th, Xbox Live Gold members will automatically become core members with no change in pricing and have immediately access to new library of over 25 high quality games. Now, again, this sounds really good if you're already an Xbox Live member, but you got to remember now you're going to be losing the extra games that would be coming in there every single month. So now it's just like whenever they get the license rights to put something in the Game Pass instead of like a guaranteed, a couple games every month. So if you're really looking for something more than just an indie game, you might be out of luck. Maybe not. It's I know on the PC they've had like a lot of like Lies of P is going to be part of the thing. Exoprimal is part of the Xbox Game Pass stuff. Day one launches on there, so that is really cool there. But it's definitely interesting to seeing how Xbox is shaking their things up. Member deals, discounts, which is normal. Games of Gold will come to an end on September 1st. Players can continue to access any Xbox One games they previously redeemed through Games of Gold if they remain a Game Pass Core or Game Pass Ultimate member. So this just goes back to the whole thing of you never actually own your games. And I've been kind of saying this for years also of like, just because you put it onto your profile, now half of your library, if you don't have your Game Pass going, half the library that you've gotten for free, you ain't going to be able to access that anymore. That's a big negative on Xbox's side. When the PlayStation Network, you can. The reason why I bring up PlayStation Network is because this is what this is going to turn into. In the long run, we're going to end up seeing this back and forth of like, it's not going to be the fan wars. It's going to be the CEO wars, basically. Once again, like we've seen this happen before. We know where this is going. So regardless of subscription status, any Xbox 360 titles redeemed via Games of Gold in the past will be kept in the player's library. So you can keep your 360 titles that are the old ones that you probably don't really care about as much anymore, but anything that is Xbox One titles or essentially Series XS titles, nope. And plus also 360 titles, a lot of times people have discs for them, so it's kind of hard to reinforce that, or you can just play them on PCs via emulators and stuff. So yeah, thank you to everyone who has been with us since the early days, joined along the way with friends, proud and humble, blah 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 blah. Yeah, this is all just marketing stuff. It's a very interesting thing seeing this. Again, I think there is some knocks on Microsoft with this whole deal that you could actually like talk about. definitely one being just like that whole thing of they're going to limit the access to the library that you've already made sure. And I mean, technically you've kind of already paid for that library, and because you paid for a subscription to Xbox Live, that is one of the benefits that came with it. That was a selling point, the marketing selling point of Xbox Live was that you get free games, and now they're going to take that away from you. That seems like a very dirty business move on the consumer's part, or towards the consumers end of things. So yeah, Game Pass Core, I mean, I'm just PlayStation PC anyways. I don't use my Xbox console at all, so this doesn't really affect me too much. Anybody who's on an Xbox console, I would just suggest getting yourself like even like a mid-tier PC, and you're kind of getting more bang for your buck with the EA subscription and all. Even if you don't like EA, it's just like it's like it's there if you want to use it for some reason. Like maybe there's a Titanfall game, a Star Wars game, a Need for Speed or something in there that you might want to check out. It's just there if you want it, on the PC. It's not there unless you pay for extra on the console. So it just makes sense to go kind of PC with it. But yeah, very interesting thing. It's not interesting in a good way. It's kind of interesting in like, why would they do this? But it does make sense though. Like a lot of people are probably going to be asking that question: why would Microsoft do this? It actually does make a lot of sense because they've been going down this route. They are turning into a software marketplace. They're not so much in the console game anymore, even though they are going to be made. So we have heard a lot of rumors that they're making a new console. What my gut feeling is about the next console that they're making, it's going to be a streaming box that you can stream all your games to, and it's going to be probably something with like the highest speed internet possible with the newest network adapter or whatever, and with no hard drive, so it's way cheaper. It's like $100 box or something, and it's like the little box thing like that. You plug it in HDMI into your TV, you plug a controller into USB, and then plug an Ethernet cable in there or run it Wi-Fi, and then you can play your games off this cloud servers or something. That's probably what the next Xbox is going to be, which is, to me, that's just a Game Pass box at that point. So, yeah, yeah, and pretty much that's what it feels like. It's like it's turning into like how TVs have the Game Pass app on it. New Samsung monitors, they have the Xbox app in the Samsung hub and all that stuff. Where it's again, it's like you have Wi-Fi or Ethernet beaming the signal to you. It doesn't work great. That's the thing. Like that's the thing. I can't stress it enough. It never works well. But this is what Xbox is banking on. So again, I think their main platform for like if you want the best experience possible, you go to PC, and they are going to start phasing out the consoles. They're going to be pushing for the Game Pass PC and the marketplace on the PC way more. Guarantee you, that's where this is heading. So yeah, it is. It's kind of it is a kind of defeats on Xbox's part, but yeah, I mean they put themselves in this situation because they're it's not so much that they let Sony get away with it. They just invested into a different way. Sony has been investing in gaming stuff where Microsoft is investing in how can we, get Sony is investing in development studios where Microsoft is investing in license rights. And so that's two very different ways of doing business. So yeah, it's something to see. I just see a big fan war and a big industry war coming in probably the nearest future, depending on what Sony does up next. If Sony buys a big publisher with a lot of studios, like the Activision Blizzard deal that's happening, on top of this Game Pass Core stuff, it's probably going to be a war of the CEOs. It's going to be a war of the consoles, and the consumers and content creators are going to be stuck in the middle of it. Of like, because that spawns fanboy wars. We're all going to be dealing with it, and yeah, I don't know how everybody's going to be reacting to it. That's going to be probably one of the most interesting things. How's the consumers and how is the content creators going to react to all this stuff? We'll see. Anyways. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to see whenever another Let's Talk goes up on the channel. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, I will see ya. next time.